Hi everybody and welcome back. So today I've got a short video for you about newsjacking and riding any sort of publicity wave that's going on currently. Being involved with newsjacking is a great way to get some visibility for your business. Journalists are always looking for opinions about what's going on in the news, news stories, breaking news, everything really. If there's something going on, they want people who have got opinions about it to talk to them. So, what is newsjacking? Well, put simply, it's about watching what's going on in the news, for one. So, for instance, at the moment, which is January 2020, we've got a breaking news story today about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moving to Canada, scaling down their royal duties, or even dropping them, I think, and doing something completely different. There's a big hoo-ha about it because they didn't tell the palace first, and the palace are feeling hurt. So that's a great story. We've got Donald Trump, who has been playing war games with Iran and Iraq, which is causing a stir. We've got the terrible fires in Australia going on, which are just awful. Lots of people having their houses burnt to the ground. Some have lost their lives. Billions of animals who are dead or out of a home. It's just awful. So there's definitely a story there. And then we've had the big story about the rape victim in Cyprus, well, Ayia Napa, which is Greece, but it's been tried in Cyprus, who has been jailed, I think suspended, because the judge deemed that she had lied about being raped by a group of men. So that's another big story that's in the news at the moment. But it doesn't have to be a story. It could be just days of the year. So it could be Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day or International Vegan Day or International Eat Your Greens Day. There is days for everything these days. And you could be writing stories or contacting the press, having an opinion or a feature about those things too. It's an absolutely great way to leverage some visibility because obviously once you've got some press coverage, no matter how big, small, whatever it was, then you can tell everybody about it that follows you and they're going to be impressed because you've been in the press. So newsjacking is definitely a ball to get rolling on. Now, people don't always believe me when I say this, but it's true that journalists have just got so much content to find. It's ridiculous. Years ago, when people just had their newspaper or magazine to look after, life seemed hard, but by comparison to today, it wasn't hard at all. Because today, journalists have got a whole beast of content to find because they've got a magazine or a newspaper to fill, they've got websites to write on every day, they've got Facebook to do every day, they may have a radio station attached to their publication, they may have an event, they may have, anything really. TV, I think some magazines have even got TVs now, TV stations, so that just don't have enough content to fill all those places. So they're always looking for people to get on board and help them out with that. So don't think that this is an impossible thing to do because it's definitely not. Journalists will snap your hands off if you've got something good to say or a good opinion to have. So what you're looking for really is to find a story that allows you to talk about your business without talking about your business. So let me give you some examples of that. For instance, if we stick with royalty for a second, if there's a big wedding going on in the royal family, if you're into fashion, for instance, or makeup maybe, you could have an opinion on what the fashion might be like for the bride's dress. You could have an opinion on what people were dressed in. If you've watched the wedding on TV, you could have an opinion on whether white or ivory is best for a royal wedding. It could be anything really. And although you're talking about the royal wedding and the fashion of that royal wedding, obviously it's linked to your business because you're a fashion designer or you're into fashion in some way. So when you talk to the journalist about your experience and they use your stuff, they're likely to link your name with it and possibly your website as well. So it just links back to your business, which is ace. So sticking with royalty again, honestly, I'm not mad on the royals. It's just that they're good for examples. If there's a royal baby born, which there has been some quite recently, and no doubt there will be more, and you're working in that sort of field, sort of child psychology or family therapist or anything that's to do with looking after children and caring for children, then you might be able to write a story around how having a nanny affects children, particularly young children, preschool age perhaps. If they're seeing much less of mum and dad and much more of the nanny, then what effect does that have on them? Journalists would be really interested in that, especially if it's a little bit contentious, because they do like a little bit of aggro, these journalists. Then you could easily write a story and newsjack that story. If you're a coach and we're running up to Valentine's Day, you might want to talk to journalists about how Valentine's Day can have an effect on somebody's mindset, on mental health perhaps. If you're single and you don't want to be single, and Valentine's Day is all about celebrating couples and having a jolly time with your partner, and you're not feeling that, then that can affect you. And it could be that you could write a story on that. I might be doing that this year, I have to say. It's a very good angle. I think I've just given that one away. So again, there's always something to hang a story on. So what you need to do is keep your ears to the ground, see what news stories are breaking, what celebratory dates are coming up, what's happening in the world, and see whether you can get some press coverage on the back of that. Obviously, you've got to be ready to jump. If you speak to a journalist or contact a journalist to say, I've got an opinion on this, they might say, okay, can you give me it today? So don't do it if you're in the middle of something. That means you're not available for the journalists if they want to speak to you. Twitter's a great place to interact with journalists and to see what's going on. If there's a new story breaking, like the Prince Harry one that I talked about today, I haven't been on Twitter yet to have a look at that, but if I did, there'd be no doubt lots of things on there going on about that story. And there could be journalists actually shouting out for people, saying, could we talk to you if you've got an opinion on this, particularly if you're, working in some field that's related to that. And it's not always that hard to find these opportunities. So get yourself on Twitter, social media, and find them. I urge you to do it because it is so good for your business. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, that's it for today. Quite a short one there, but hopefully a useful one. I'm uploading every Thursday at the moment, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. Obviously, somewhere on the screen there'll be a subscribe button, and you just need to hit that, and I'll be forever grateful. Also, if you don't want to miss any videos that I upload, if you hit the notification bell, wherever that is, then you'll get pinged every time I upload a new video. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a great week.